Welcome to God's Word for today as we look at these verses related to renewal and revival coming into the new year, the year 2020, in just a couple of days. Isaiah 43, verse 19. The prophet says, "Behold, I will do something new. Now it will spring forth. Will you not be aware of it? I will even make roadways in the wilderness and rivers in the desert." And it's a verse of hope. It's a verse of what he will do, it says. It is not just something that might happen, but something that will happen. And the question is, will we miss it? Will we not see it happening? Behold, I will do something new. We need to see that it is God speaking here. We need to hear it. Every time he says, behold, and it's coming from his lips, we need to listen. Behold, he will do it. It doesn't say I might do it, but I will do something new. He will do it. We don't have to concern ourselves with our capacities in this verse, except for the capacity to not miss it, the capacity to see it. Now it will be new. Everything is new. If you look at it, the next breath you take is new. But obviously this has some additional punch to it that makes it even newer. But anything that is new is exciting. You all receive new things at Christmas, and you were excited about the newness of those things. See old things, and maybe that's the opposite response from you. But I will do something new. In the springtime, in the present tense, in the springtime, and listen, it's what the Lord is saying. In the present tense, now, he says, now I will do something new. In the spring, he says, it will spring forth. It will come forth. And when you're looking at a fast progression camera look at a flower growing, if you have ever seen that, not just a snapshot, but so many snapshots after one another that they put them together, it looks like you can see it growing. The reality is you're growing. The reality is the world around you is growing. There's movement, but is it new? Is it springtime? And I encourage you to pray for that in your life. If you sense in your life a dullness, there may be a reason for that. Approach him. Talk to him about that. Here, there's the great revival verse of newness. It's from God's tongue. Again, we should listen. And then he asks that haunting question. He says, will you not be aware of it? Will you not be aware of it? Well, when I come back, will there be any righteous left? Will you be one who listens to God? Will you be one who hears what God is saying to you today and says, yes, I will be there. My quiet time will continue. My time of sharing my faith and seeing some come to Christ. Not hundreds. Most of us will go through our entire life leading only a dozen or two or a dozen to Christ if we're faithful to witness regularly. But aren't those worth it to continue to share your faith? Isn't it worth it to see newness in life? Haunting question, will you miss it? He says, I'm going to bring wildernesses and make them blossom. I'm going to put roads in the middle of wildernesses, and I'm going to do things that will astound you. And I want you to think of what it might be right now in your life. Have an eye out for it, because evidently we can miss it. Don't miss it. Be there when God's ready to move. Be already in fellowship with God. Allow God to make some things right in your life. Encourage others to do the same in their lives. I will make some things new. Will you miss it? Will you miss the roadway in the middle of the wilderness? Will you miss the rivers in the desert? You see, thirst is normal. Beauty is natural. But in a desert, usually water is not. That's why in our desert there's been so much rain recently we don't know what to do. 2 inches of rain in a desert is a lot of rain. Most of you can get 2 inches of rain in an hour in where you live or less. But in the desert, water is rare. When you sense it or when you see it, it's a blessing from God. Will you notice it? Will you notice what God is doing in your life? I want to thank you for being with us here on God's Word for today. We'll be back tomorrow with a new verse, a new promise, a new hope.